Welcome back. This is Peak Podcast number 5. I am Jarvie, and this is Neil McSpadden. Say hi, Neil.
Hello.
And I don't think you want to see our funny faces too much. So I'm going to jump in immediately into sharing the screen because we've got a lot to cover today. What are some of our, we kind of wrote down. We make it a policy to plan too much.
Yes. I was a little aghast that we listed anything, but
yeah, he objected, but I was like, no, we should probably have a few things. But we're gonna start off this show with this sort of like teaser, you know? That's why we're doing this, Neil. We're teasing them. Here's all the things that they could probably expect from what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to find the list, but we're going to talk about Untamed. Untamed as far as prices, Untamed as far as like some playability aspects, maybe some of our favorite Untamed cards and strategies, how they may have differed. So that a lot of Untamed things. Something just breaking as of like what 5-10 minutes ago is a new Untamed card, in fact. And then we'll be seeing other ones coming pretty soon too with the airdrop cards. And then we're going to be talking a lot about if there's anything else that changed in Splinterlands, a couple of small things besides just the new cards, but also things that have changed in Peakmonsters land and things that are coming up as soon as this weekend. So, and then obviously we love chatting the possibilities, the future possibilities, what may be coming to Splinterlands. We'll talk about what has been stated and what we think could happen. And then also kind of more or less a state of Splinterlands. Shall we do that, Neil?
That sounds good.
All right. I'm going to switch to screen sharing. All right. You see the screen now, right?
I see it.
So this is, let me show you what happens in my little life over here. I wake up and I'm like, well, I wonder what the price of cards are, because we saw in the last, how long has it been? Little under a week, right? They came out last Saturday.
I believe so. Friday or Saturday, something like that.
So we're almost 7 days into this. And the prices have kind of found what I think. What do you think? I think they found their spot. Not like they're going to stay these exact same things, but I think they're just going to fluctuate up and down from where they are presently. I don't think there's going to be, it's not like they're heading down to a specific spot. And I'll give some reasons why, but what do you think in general?
I think that's true, especially as we look at the legendary prices. We got, on the low end, we've got $3 for a chain golem. We've got the high of $7.75 for Cornelius.
No, chain golem's at $10.
Oh, I was looking at the market price at the top there. So I guess $3 is the bid for the golem. But you know that
there has been no chain golem purchased as far as I know.
Yeah, so like that $4 to $10 range, that's in the ballpark for the in-print legendaries. And I've been saying this since Alphas that the total value of the cards is going to be dependent on how much it costs to buy a pack.
Yes. So that gives us into our first, we'll even start jumping right into a new Peakmonsters feature, right?
Absolutely.
But before we do that, we need to discuss how these numbers, and Neil and other people use these numbers right up here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So a lot of people will use this number. Some people will use this number. Not as many people use the bid number, but so the difference is this is what a market. So that's either the last time a card has been purchased, or we limit in between the list and the bid. So a lot of these will be in between the list and the bid, and may actually they keep on rising up and rising up. This is what I've noticed, is that they tend to be the bid price because the last time it was purchased was below the bid price.
Right.
And there's just bidders that are like, I'm upping my bid, I'm upping my bid, I'm upping my bid. So we felt on Peakmonsters that it was fine to use the bid price because that is the price that someone is willing right now to buy at least one card.
Right.
So.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah. And we wouldn't ever go above list because people could game the market by buying a $7 scale doctor, even though there's a $5 one listed, and then game the market price. So, hey, there's a $5 one listed. That's a pretty tight spread for a legendary, 450 to 5.
That's actually really tight for a legendary. So
yeah,
normally they're more, well, the spreads are wider. So
what you could even look at these numbers and really read a lot into it if you're into the market side of it, which Neil and me talk about a lot about that sort of stuff. Where you're seeing like, hey, this looks like it's dependent on the bid price, and it just looks like it's creeping up, and no one's really willing to sell it much. There's like one person that came into here probably and is like, hey, I'll sell it for $5, and you know, and no one's, I mean, guess someone should jump on it because the next one's $5.45. But you know, this is also something with volume. I suppose there's not a crazy amount. So
yeah, I mean, it is brand new, so
yeah,
there's that.
But what Neil talked about a little bit earlier, and I want to get your opinions on it. I'll move to this page, and you tell us what you're seeing here, Neil.
Okay, so I love this because it removes a lot of work for me. So I was doing these calculations to calculate what the value of a pack was manually in my Excel spreadsheet, and now you've created this beautiful little calculator wizard thingy, depending on how many packs you buy, depending on whether you're using potions or not, and then it spits out what is the expected value of that purchase. Now, anytime we talk expected values, we're talking probabilities. So if you're buying one pack, it's almost guaranteed not to be the expected value.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we put that down here below and say, you're going to get statistically accurate estimates once you purchase somewhere around 500, but probably better around 2,000 packs, 1,500 packs.
Right. And that is absolutely true. When I did a purchase in beta, it was a lot. It was like 2,000 packs or 30,000 packs, something like that. And it came within $10 of the expected value of all those packs. Yeah. So once you get to those bigger numbers, the variance, gets canceled out. Yeah. And it gets very close.
The drop rate.
So just as a caveat for people looking at this thing, hey, I didn't get 247 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So the drop rate, and this was what's fun is I calculated the drop rates that you did for opening your, 1,700 Untamed packs. I did it for J6969, and each time you almost didn't even have to double check. You're just like, I know exactly the amount of cards you're going to get. I know exactly the amount of legendaries you're going to get, the amount of golds you're going to get. When you open that many, we just know, and it's going to be off by like 1 or 2. But in that world of opening that many packs, that's not even off by 1%. That's like a fraction of 1%. So, and we lost Neil, so he'll jump in a moment. But I will keep on chatting about this. So this is the drop rate expectation, and that is based off over here off of the quantity. So if I change the quantity to 500, then it will change it to the 575 packs because of the free booster. Let's tell Neil to come back in. Oh, he said, I was worried about my internet, and so Neil is like, what about my internet? Turns out it was bad. Okay, so when we've changed this to 500, and now we have 575 packs, you can kind of see your expected drop rate. Now this is going to be closer to more statistically accurate because you're getting 575 packs. So you can kind of expect 22 legendaries, and well, you can see over here how many golds, 57 golds. Now, if you click here on that you're going to use the legendary potions, it goes up by double. And if you say you're going to use the alchemy potions, then this goes up by double. So you're going to have like 115 golds, 44 legendaries. And so then we go through the market and look at the list prices. And we will tell you how much that is going to be worth. 790 for the regular cards and 429 for the gold cards based off the list prices. So I know Neil would usually say, well, maybe not always look at the market prices, but I would say here on pack opening, if you're wanting to open packs, instead of buying from the market, look at list. If you're the one that's going to be buying from the market, look at list. Unless you have a little more patient, then you can look at market and say, if I waited for good deals, and if you weren't too particular about certain cards, that's the thing. In the market, it looks at the low cards and the high cards. So he's trying to, again, he's going to join us on his phone now. So we're just reading that. But I'll keep on explaining how this works. So you can change this up a little bit. But look here as well. If you are just buying, let's say, 10 packs, the price per pack is going to be $196 for me. There's no bonus from Steam Monsters, from Splinterlands, but I have a 4-cent bonus. Why is that? Because my account gets a, I believe like a, well, it gets a decent sized bonus. Like I have a higher tier reward. I can double check it. My tier reward is 21%. So if we go back here to buy packs, then that 21% is equaling out to 4 cents, because that's a reward bonus. That's a profit sharing bonus. So there we go. I want to double check something right here. Neil is back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Craziness. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine. Welcome back.
All right.
I don't know what I did without you.
Oh man, Comcast is not the most reliable sometimes.
It's funny because I work so much better when I'm talking to someone instead of talking to myself.
Yeah. So where did we leave off?
Well, I kind of stumbled around talking to him about the system down here that we have with the estimated drop rates and how it, becomes more accurate when we get to 575 packs. Then I started talking to him about this discount up here because of I have a 21% profit sharing bonus from Peakmonsters, and that translates to about 4 cents per pack. So, and then when you buy 500 packs, and you get the 75 booster packs, and that's basically a 15% discount, which means a 30 cent, well, not quite, but something around that. And so then we get it down to about $1.70 a pack for me,
right,
on Peakmonsters. And so then,
that's great.
Then I showed them how to use these little buttons, because this is what we're using to kind of calculate things, right? But what you were talking about earlier is looking at the pack values. So we look at this $1.43 and you're like, oh crap, that doesn't seem like much, right?
Right.
But potions, tell them how that kind of works out.
Yeah, so the potions you buy from Splinterlands, and now you can actually buy with PayPal in addition to dark energy crystals, and they alter your probabilities of whether it's the like legendary potion doubles your chance of getting a legendary, and the gold potion, the alchemy potion, doubles your chance of getting a gold instead of a regular card. So that skews the cards that you will get when you buy your packs, and thus changes the value of the results, basically.
So we get a little bit of extra boost and benefit from guilds now. Like,
yep,
a little bit better now.
That is true.
Because this did not used to be the case. Well, I guess it was kind of the case. But it wasn't the case that you could buy it with PayPal.
Right.
Plus, they changed the whole legendary potion system where it's just one legendary potion. It's per card. Each charge represents one card. No more trying to figure out all that math. And it's kind of straight up now. And you can see that I'm paying perhaps less. Well, this is this account, Untamed, which I really love my name for this account. I moved all my Untamed cards there, and I called it Untamed. I used my my starter pack code that I got from the Kickstarter, created that. I've actually bought, and I didn't want to use my DEC, so I bought from PayPal because my DEC is going towards other things. So I don't know what you're thinking about that, these terms. Do you get using PayPal a little bit more, your credit card, or DEC sort of stuff?
Well, so for dark energy crystals, last I looked, which was a few days ago, dark energy crystals were selling for about 80 cents per thousand, 80 US dollar cents.
Yeah, we can go there. I've got that kind of brought up. So it's 84 cents, but
84 cents.
We can refresh the page. It may have gone down.
Let's see now.
84 cents still.
84. Okay, so that is too low for me to be selling my dark energy crystals, and so I'm accumulating dark energy crystals at this point, and I'm expecting them to go back up closer to $1 per thousand.
Yeah.
So that's me personally. So
I'm just me as well. So if people want 2 testimonials, I actually became I think I'm number 3 on the list for DEC.
Oh, look at you.
We could bring that up too, just because that's fun. There's on Steam Engine, there's a system that will show you who's the top holders of dark energy crystals in their Steam wallet. That's an important point. Just in their Steam wallet, everything that's in their Steam Monsters wallet is not shown here because you don't actually own that. You're just, in Steam Monsters account. It's not in your account.
It's held in escrow for you.
But you're trusting them. It's escrow, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's J69, and then there's Jarvie.
Yeah. That's not going to last too long. I'm probably going to use it soon.
All right. Oh, there I am. My Neil.cards is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're getting potions still with your DEC?
Yeah. Well, I haven't had to buy any since I opened my Untamed. So going forward, will I use PayPal or DEC? I don't know. It'll just depend on the day and what's more convenient and
if you can,
yeah,
do Steam. I mean, but for a lot of us, it takes a lot of time to get money into Steam because you have to go.
It does.
For me, it's Coinbase to Bitcoin to Steam, and then I transfer my Steam over.
Right, I did the same, and it's a colossal pain. So one of Agrod's announcements a couple of days ago was that he's expecting the opt-in KYC layer to be added to the Steam engine in the next month or so.
Oh.
And what that means is that people will be able to get fiat into Steam engine directly. So that would be very exciting because that'll smooth out a lot of friction that is in the current.
Definitely do that. Let's go back to the pack value. How do you interpret where it's at presently?
Yeah, so 143 for just a stock pack is pretty low. So with discounts, with affiliate codes and so forth, you can usually get a pack direct from Peakmonsters at like $1.68 or $1.71 or something like that. So what this is showing us is that the card values are below the pack cost right now.
Yeah,
Now
if
that can be
someone went in and they could buy a pack, a 500 pack, and then from us they could get it for $1.70, and let's say they use the affiliate code sort of system, that's going to lower that by how much?
5%.
5% of 170.
I believe so. Yes.
Like 161.
Yeah, that sounds in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's still a little higher, right? But
yeah. So basically, you can buy individual cards cheaper than you can buy packs right this second, based on these numbers. However, what that does not take into account is the airdrops that are coming out, and
yes.
we had we had some discussion about that in the Monster Maverick channel, where I was trying to come up with some kind of formula to
How'd that go?
account for that. I mean, iffy, but so what we know that we're going to get 2 legendary monsters. We know that we're going to get 5 Splinter legendary summoners, and we know we're going to get another legendary dragon summoner.
Yes.
So that's 8 of the 14 airdrops that are coming out.
Yeah. Well,
And
someone looking at this right now, they're only going to qualify for 10 of them if they buy packs starting right now.
right.
No, 12.
So,
sorry, 12.
So every pack that you buy is an entry ticket into getting one of those airdrops. From the point that you buy on throughout the entire print run of Untamed.
Yes.
And so I was trying to get kind of a handle on, well, how much is that worth? So I mucked around in spreadsheets, and people were pointing out errors that I made, and it went back and forth many times. But basically, as I bring up my spreadsheet here, because my spreadsheets work, my internet doesn't. Let's see. Steam Monsters. So what I did was I took a random, not a random, but I took a scientific guess as to what those future cards will be worth, and I guessed that the legendary dragon monsters are going to be worth about $6. Legendary summoners are going to be worth about 15, and the dragon summoner is going to be worth about 30, and the filler, the rest are going to be commons and rares and epics, and we'll average out at about 10 cents. So that's kind of loosely based on what we saw with beta. And like at this point, if you bought one pack, let's just say 100, just to make that math work out. That could be worth, assuming my numbers are in the ballpark, that could be worth $20.
What 100 packs worth $20?
Yeah, $20 of extra cards that you would get through airdrops.
So $200 for $20. That's another 10% on top.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, no guarantees expressed or implied. That's just a rough guess based on history. So I mean, that's a nice little kicker, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, when you factor that in, then the market value of the cards versus the market value of the packs pretty much comes to the same point.
Okay, let me take this from a different approach as to how I see these prices and how I think that the market, it's so fascinating because it seems like it found a price, and that's why I'm thinking that the present prices right now are going to be the place where it goes a little bit below and a little bit above, but it will kind of be there. I will show you this kind of spreadsheet. I may have to make this one bigger. So I zoom into this. Let's go 150. Okay, so starting on December 1st, I started tracking pack value. And we know that it started high. And in fact, it started the day before, but I didn't start tracking until we came out with our feature. And then I started tracking. It started at 169, went to 158. I mean, 169 was a flash in the pan. The next day, basically 158. It did go up to 164 the day after, and then kind of down. It did go down to 141 yesterday or a couple days ago, and it's gone back up to 143. And as we can tell right now, it's still at the 143 amount, right? And I also wanted to track what percentage of the value was coming from regular potions or regular cards versus gold. And now I'm tracking it with both potions in there, right? So I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, cool, 143. Now, why 143? Well, that's not really the number that we should always be looking at, because everyone's opening with potions. Almost everyone's opening with potions, and probably for good reason, because again, let's put in the 500 and you got the, the 170, or the 174 actually is what, well, it's actually even better. So if we take $2 and say that affiliate is, that means you're going to get, 2 times 0.95 means 190. So that's 10 cents off. So you're looking at, if it's 170, we're talking 160 for me, right?
Okay.
Now let's go to potions, okay? And let's say at the normal rate, it's 5 cents a potion for alchemy and 4 cents for legendary for every card. So every pack would be 45 cents. However, if you're in a top guild, it's 39 cents. I'll just kind of cut to the chase as far as that.
Right.
So then what you do is you add 39 cents to the to the 160, right? Because we talked about 170. Actually, if you did the affiliate sort of system, even if you did the 170, which let's say everyone, not even using Peakmonsters, did this, right? If you didn't even use Peakmonsters, you just bought a 500 pack, you didn't use affiliate, then you're at 174, right? That's the price for everyone.
Yep.
So let's add 30, and then say you're in a guild, right? A good guild gives you, it's not even level 10 quest lodge, but you got the 39 cents off, right? So 174 plus 39 cents is, drum roll, $2.13.
Wow.
That looks like a pretty familiar number, doesn't it?
That's almost spot on.
The market seems to be somewhat smart. So then you start thinking, well, the 5% or the 4 cents off from Peakmonsters, and obviously some people get a lot more off than that, and some people get less. Well, that's all just a bonus. Or the 5% affiliate, that's a bonus. That sort of thing,
Yep.
So that's why I think that we're looking at values that will be pretty good. And if it drops down a lot lower than that, then that's where you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy from the market,
Yeah.
If it goes much higher, then you're like, dang, I'm going to buy a bunch of packs.
Yeah. That's that's a good point that people are, because with the Kickstarter, people got about half of the potions that they needed as part of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Anyways. So going forward, obviously that won't be the case. So we might start to see that.
So they're going to start seeing it as more value. They're going to start seeing those cards as more value.
Right.
Because it was less valuable to them because they got a bunch of free things, a lot of free potions.
Right. Right. Exactly. So yeah, I think we'll see that shift over time as the run continues. But yeah, I think the general place where the individual cards are, found a pretty good level just overall, fairly quickly. So that was, I'm a little surprised it worked so quickly.
Yeah.
But people did open like 200,000 packs, so
it's
that's
true.
a lot of cards.
But
working
a
its
lot
way
of
through.
those people that opened tons and tons of packs did not put them onto the market.
Right. That's true.
We don't see you putting onto the market. We don't see J69 ever putting onto the market.
Nope.
TCP doesn't really use the market too much.
Yeah, I've seen a few listed from Automaker, but I don't know if those were the ones that people were burning or if those were his own stuff. You know, he's a pretty active guy, so it's hard to hard to separate.
Yeah. So we go in and the other interesting thing about prices is that they're so different. You can't just necessarily say, oh, it's better to buy packs right now, because it's like, well, it's better to buy some cards from the market right now, and it's definitely better to get, let's go even in just to commons right now. You've got quite the spread from 4.8 cents all the way up to 23 cents for the slime ball. So it's not necessarily better to buy from the market to get a slime ball. So
right.
It's quite a big spread there. That's 4 to, well, let's say 5 to 20 something cents. So, but that's the listing price. That's how much you'd have to buy it right now from the market. The last time it was sold, well, let's see, the high bid is 14.2. A lot of these things are just still hanging out along the high bid. It looks like the bidders, I'm actually pretty proud of this, that the bid market has been so healthy for Untamed. Look at how many people and how many bids have been put in just for the slime ball. Here's the rarity bids, kind of hanging out around 4.5 cents. They don't want to bid too much more because they're worried they're just going to get a bunch of magma trolls, you know? So most of the bids are going to be like individual stuff, and they keep on going up and up and up. So and I was out of the game on the slime ball early on. I'm like, well, I can't do that, and I'm not going to do those. But those are players that are like, I want the slime ball right now. I want it to get to level 6 so it can have freaking redemption and be a killer card.
Right.
Because at level 5, it's like, meh. But at level 6, it's like, holy crap, I got to use this every time.
Right.
So.
It's, and that's I think a good segue into the abilities and what's going on with the Untamed cards.
All right. I did a post with some of my favorite cards, which we'll chat about in a moment. I'll go bring it up. But I'd love to hear what you're thinking.
Right. So what I did, because I'm me, I put everything into a spreadsheet, and I categorized, or I recorded every card ability at all levels. So assuming you had max everything, you would have all these abilities.
Yeah.
And then I also recorded the the attack. Is it a magic or a melee or whatever? So right off the bat, we have 2 monsters that have 2 attacks. We have the War Chang, which is a neutral epic that has ranged and melee. And we have the Vigilator, which is a dragon, which has ranged and melee as well.
Yeah.
So the only other card that has 2 attacks is the Red Dragon, which was part of the Seed promo set.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. And I saw the Vigilator in action. Somebody posted a great battle. So it was so at max level, Vigilator has double strike, thorns, and poison. So double strike with 2 attacks means 4 attacks per round. And this was in a melee mayhem match. So melee could attack from anywhere. And it just tore through the other team, and inflicting poison as it went. So it was ridiculous. That's going to be an in-demand card. But the other thing, the Vigilator is awesome. But the other thing that I noticed when I was going through the abilities is that there's basically sneak has been de-emphasized in favor of opportunity. So
I'm a big fan of opportunity.
yeah. So for those who don't know, sneak, you go to the rearmost defender to attack, but opportunity goes after the weakest. So that's going to change the dynamics of things a bit. And also, there is a lack of speed, both positive and negative. There's no slow, or I mean, there might be. I think there's one slow. Let me just check here.
Opportunity?
No, I'm talking about for speed. So the only card that has slow is the Cave Slug, and the only card, I think there's no cards that have swiftness. Yeah, there's none that have swiftness. So all your speed buffs are pretty much going to be coming from either the Creeping Ooze, or from the rewards set, or from alphas and betas.
Yeah.
So that's the with if they don't have those older cards. Let's see, what else do we have in terms of abilities? We got Taunt, which is interesting. So Taunt is a staple of RPGs and things where the tank forces the attackers to attack it rather than going around. So that might alter some dynamics of I'm a huge fan of using snipe a lot, and we'll see how how well that works. We also have a new ability called Snare, which is no flying, attacking, flying. A bunch of armor abilities. We've got Rust, we've got Shatter, we've got
Neil, my internet's apparently having a little bit of an issue, so I missed the ability that you were just talking about. You talked about Rust a second ago, but what was right before that?
Snare against flying monsters.
Snare. What do you think of that one? I think it's useless.
I don't think it's useless. It'll be helpful against like dragon teams. It'll be useful in earthquake matches. Hold on one second. I'm being summoned by my children.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. We have a little emergency. So I will give my take on some of these cards. So I like going over to Peakmonsters. I am, we can review what I talked about, but my review that I did of my top 15 cards was very much about, let me go back to it. It's very much about the Silver League experience, where I was very, I found that I could do. So Neil, I'm telling him about my experience playing with a Silver League team. So I'm going to move it up here pretty soon to a Gold League team, and I think things are going to be very different. But from a Silver League experience, man, the taunt was amazing because you basically said, I hear you, Neil. You have this big plans for your team and your snipe and your sneak, and you've got this whole strategy that you're doing.
Yep.
But screw your strategy. I'm going to taunt you.
Right.
And your strategy's gone. Unless your strategy was to attack my Magnor to begin with, then maybe that's not so good. So putting the Magnor in is and then my strategy is going to be opportunity because there is no sneak in the Untamed cards, really,
Yeah, not much.
Not much. So, and I'm only playing with Untamed. So I was like, okay, I'm going to opportunity you, and it's it's going to kill you. So.
Yeah. So in alpha and beta, you could protect yourself to a degree against sniping and against sneaking if you knew that your opponent was likely to employ that kind of strategy. You could say, well, I'm going to put another magic user in front of my healer, and I'm going to put something with thorns on the back end, or something like that,
Yeah.
to mitigate those strategies. But with opportunity, it goes after the weakest. Doesn't matter where it is. So there's no ability to use a shield of another monster to protect your vulnerable cards. So that, I'm still thinking about, how to deal with that. And I don't have an answer yet.
This leads me to another theme I want to touch really quickly, but I want to come back to cards itself.
Mhm.
I think what we're coming to is eventually, and hopefully soon, next year, maybe early on-ish, after they get the mobile going, after they get play anytime tournaments, I
Mhm.
think that the shift is going to go towards another way of playing the game with these cards.
Mm.
Not completely different. We're not talking like, a role-playing game or, a completely different thing. I think they just have to make a different tweak to the system towards a live drafting. Maybe I'm just projecting because this is what I'd love to see. But when you have a system where you're live drafting, we've talked about this in previous episodes, where it's
Yep.
like I'm playing Neil, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'm going to draft one card, he drafts one, I draft one, that sort of thing, and then he
Mhm.
grabs the Magnor, and then I'm like, okay, I know what's up, and then I start thinking about how to counteract. It's this battle of wits sort of game instead of this, let me predict with my wizard hat on. What do I think he's going to do without any evidence at all, except for maybe I've played him once or twice before, or maybe I've done some research. But how can I research 1,000 different players that are shuffled? Or if you're in the top leagues, researching 100 different players and you happen to know their strategies, but then you're like, they're on a different quest. So you don't really know what they're likely to play. And
Right.
so hard to memorize what 200 different people are likely to play and who's online
Yep.
at that moment. Instead, you have this sort of thing of action, reaction, that sort of stuff where it's like, okay, I think I know how to react to opportunity well, or you're just saying, I don't need to react to him. He needs to react to me, react to what I'm going to be doing because I've got a cool strategy, right?
That's right. I'm not trapped here with you. You're trapped here with me.
Yeah. So it's like, fine, do your Magner. I'm going to kill him quickly. So I'm big on this in Silver League because Magnor in Silver League with the new Summoner has speed, and then their opportunity cards um, in the red, in the fire, their
Mhm.
opportunity cards are super fast opportunity cards. So we got the
Mhm.
Serpentine Spy, who's it goes up to a 5 speed in silver.
That's pretty quick.
That's pretty quick in silver. So you're going to kill someone, boom, because there's not a lot in silver. There's not a lot of armor going around. So boom,
Right.
someone's dead. And then the other one, which is probably one of the more powerful cards, we always look at the neutrals, don't we? We kind of like, well,
Mhm.
what can be kind of shared? This parasitic growth is one of the top common cards in all of Untamed. 16 cents,
Yeah.
and there's a reason. It's it's got opportunity as a neutral. Now it's not quite as fast. It's a 2, but you got to remember the red team boosts the speed. So now we got a 3. And so you got boom, boom, 2 cards killed. Often, sadly, the first card killed is the chicken, the sacrificial chicken.
uh, I actually won a match on a kill by a chicken
Yeah.
a few days ago. It was the best feeling.
Yeah. Nice.
My one melee chicken with 1 health killed your team. That was great. So parasitic growth though, it also gets scavenger at level 6. So that'll be once you get into the Gold League, and that is a pretty powerful ability.
Yeah, you can talk more about, because you've done the research more about higher leagues. I literally I only know silver right now. I only know silver. But
Right.
looking at this, I
So
didn't realize it had scavenger, and that's just crazy to me. It's going to be even a better card.
yeah, my see if I can get my internet working here. And so scavenger, it's kind of similar to life leech, basically, where it picks up health from cards that die.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't have to be the card that attacked to cause the death. So any card that dies on the opposing team, the scavenger picks
No,
up.
and your own team, I think, right? Or not?
Oh, is it your own team as well?
I
That
believe
I'm
so.
not sure. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to bring up the
Well, I can bring
how
up
to play
Splinter
list.
Lands, and I can go to neutral cards and parasitic growth. So we're going to go to stats. We're going to open it up once we get to scavenger. Gains 1 max health each time any monster dies.
Ah, I didn't even realize that. So that's even more powerful.
Yeah.
And, so if your scavenger is in the middle of your lineup, then your front line or your back line dies maybe, or whatever's getting sniped gets killed. Then your scavengers are going to pick up health,
Yeah.
and then any enemy you kill, your scavenger is going to pick up health. So I've only faced it once so far where it mattered in battle,
Uh-huh.
and the scavenger picked up I don't know, I think 3 health by the time it was done.
Yeah.
So and that's a full attack that it can absorb that you weren't maybe counting on.
So the Dark Hound, which a lot of people tend to like, has scavenger, and that's the most that has it in the Silver League play. So I've seen it and I've used it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
grabbed a few. But the thing about the Hound is it's usually going to be a frontline card because it's
Right.
anyways, and it's flying, and it's a melee attack. So you're putting it in the front line, and it's pretty rough. That thing's getting attacked all over the place, and it's a 10.
Yep.
It's a 10 mana card, which means you've got it at a high mana game. So you've got a lot
Mm-hmm.
of attacks coming in from the opposing team. And so it's just like it gained 2 or 3 mana. But, some of those attacks are like 3 to 4 mana in those types of games. So
Yep.
it's pretty rough on the Hound. It does maybe keep it around for another level. So, but I'm intrigued to see when the Hound goes up to have Void, because that's when it was in Silver League. It's super susceptible to magic,
Right.
and and then you've got add Void to it, and then Magic Reflect. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think at the max level, it's going to be a pretty powerful card, and just from the stats and the abilities, it seems like Death or the Black Splinter got a bit of a bump on this edition, which I'm pretty happy to see because it was at higher leagues, it was pretty weak under beta.
Yeah, let's look here. Here's some of the cards. I'm showing them off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kind of go through it real fast. The Giant Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
Giant Scorpion's cool because they've added a bunch of 4 mana frontline cards. And they needed to because they're now saying you can have a 12 mana game. So they had to do that. And one of the things you probably do, Neil, is you probably, if you need to mute your video to help with the internet. Oh, it's my internet. That's bad. That's right. So.
Yeah, I'm on cellular now. So.
Yeah. So yeah, so they've added a bunch of different things. So that the Giant Scorpion's not nothing. It isn't anything necessarily special because they've added something like the Giant Scorpion to each team. But this Undead Badger, it's like one of the only new sneak cards.
Yeah, and it gets it at level 1, which is nice.
It gets it at level 1, and it's a 2 mana card.
Yeah, 2 mana. It's decently fast. So you don't have level 5. So this is one of those cards where at level 4 it's a 5 speed, and then at level 5 it's a 4 speed, because you're trading off damage, because you gain 1 damage and you lose 1 speed.
So that's an above average card. You know,
Yeah,
Giant
it's a
Scorpions
good
average,
card.
Undead Badgers above average. Maggots is it's got Scavenger,
Yeah.
which we like. It's got Opportunity, which we like.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
slow. It's not like a fast
It's,
opportunity card.
yeah. I mean, once you get up to the higher levels, it's 3 speed, 3 mana, 3 attack.
You got to think of what it's usually attacking. It's attacking a low-level card, which is usually
Right.
going to be a chicken, an ooze, something that's not terribly fast.
Right.
I think it's above average.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
We know Slime Ball is way above average, and the Bone Golem
Yep.
is above average.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm not as sold on it as some other people.
It has Repair. I'm a huge fan of Repair.
It has Repair? Is that what it's saying?
Yes, for Bone
Where does
Golem.
it get it? At level 5? Okay, so I'm playing it without Repair.
Yeah, so you have to be in Gold League in order to get Repair, because it's level 5 for a rare. And so Armor Smith was the first monster to have Repair, and so it adds back up to 2 armor to the most damaged armor of the lineup. And the thing about that is that in a lot of matches, that acts like an additional heal.
Yeah.
So especially if you're in a healed out match, then it's a huge advantage to have Repair. So I'm a fan of anything that adds Repair to the team.
Oh yeah. So at silver, it's like it's okay, a little bit above average, but then when you add Repair into the Gold League, I think I'm with you. I think it's probably going to end up being a much better card.
Yeah.
Dark Astronomer is like super low priced for a rare card. It's like one of the lowest price rare card, and I really am looking at the pricing of these Untamed cards, and I'm like, I think the market's getting it right. Like it's looking at like how valuable in play these cards are.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, if we look at the rares as a whole, Dark Astronomer is the cheapest one.
Yeah. So, and 4 mana for a 2 ranged with Shatter. It feels just like, what's that other black card that already has that? It already has Shatter, and it's a ranged attack.
It already has Shatter in Untamed.
No, in beta.
In beta. Let's see.
The Pirate Archer, or something like that, or it's a dark. I can't remember.
Well, here, I'll find it here in 1 second. Black. Shatter.
Maybe it's a neutral.
Yeah, it's an orb promo. It's Undead Archer.
Undead Archer. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now I lost my place. But I think we should do this I don't think we're going to go through all 6 ones, but maybe this is what we kind of touch on. We'll do this in this podcast, just kind of go through black. How about that? And then the next podcast, we'll kind of focus on a different color a little bit more. We do have a few more themes that we really want to talk about. But let's go through this. Let's go through black a little bit more. Death Elemental.
So let's see. We did Bone Golem. Yeah, Death Elemental will be next. So this is your sniper. So interesting thing about snipe in Untamed is that every splinter has a snipe.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the neutrals, there are, I think, 2 neutrals with snipe. Let's see, 1. Let's see. There's the Mantoid, and
Mantoid has snipe. Okay.
And then the I guess that's the only one in Untamed. But if you look at the total card set, if you look at, so each splinter has 2. It's got 1 in beta, got 1 in Untamed. There's 2 beta neutrals. No, sorry, that's not right. There's
1 beta neutral.
1 beta neutral with snipe. There's a promo orb with snipe, There's 2 or 3 dragons with snipe in the various sets. So you could actually have a team of 1 tank and 6 snipers if you went dragon and had all the cards.
Yeah.
Which I think would just obliterate just about any team.
Well, I mean, unless they use taunt.
Even so, it's on one card. So I mean, that's I don't know. It's just fun to think about because I'm such a fan of snipe anyway. But
Yeah, I don't use it a lot. Because in Untamed, if all you're using is Untamed, there's only one option, and then this Mantoid, which is expensive, 6 mana.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you need a lot of mana to make all that work. But
yeah.
But it is fun.
So I haven't been doing any snipe recently because of
Okay.
that. Because I'm just playing Untamed. I'm looking at if it was a brand new player that came in, bought packs of cards. This is their experience.
Yeah. Now the other thing Death Elemental has is silence, which is a big help for the Death Splinter because it's a low health splinter, so it's susceptible to magic. And with the
We lost you for a moment, probably because of my internet.
at max level, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Here, try turning off your video for a little bit.
All right, let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Stop video. Okay. So with Death Elemental, you also get silence, is what I was saying, which is very helpful for the Death Splinter because it's a low health splinter, because it's death, and so having that -1 on incoming magic attacks is very useful.
Yes. Agreed. And it's also something that I've loved about the neutral card that does that same thing. That's the Elven Mystic, I believe. Yeah, it has silence. At the same level, I've been using it a lot in Silver League games because, don't want to get... But it's not super important in Silver League because, the amounts of magic attack in Silver League is like 1 to 2 to begin with. So.
That's true. And what do you think about the Soulstorm?
I predicted before Untamed even kind of came out, I was thinking this was going to be an amazing card, this Soulstorm, and I don't think I've ever used it in a game.
Well, he's got flying, he's got snare.
Snare is stupid in my opinion.
Okay.
I just thought maybe because it was an epic card with 4 different abilities, and I thought that was awesome. Yep. And I don't know if I'm willing to spend. It's an epic, so I'm only got level 3. I don't have headwinds yet, and maybe when you get to headwinds, it's pretty awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, I think headwinds is very useful, just in general. So
great against your sniping.
It is good against my sniping. So all of the attack weakeners, the demoralize, the headwinds, and the silence, those are all super useful abilities to have on your team. So my guess is it will be more useful when you get to that level 4. And then at max level, you get stun.
Then at level 5, you got a 5 mana card with a 4 attack. That's pretty cool. With the headwinds, Yep. And then you go up to 6, you've got a stun. So I still think it's probably a pretty decent card, especially at max level, right? Stun and headwind.
Yeah. And that is something that the team added intentionally, is more abilities at max level, so that you have that incentive.
Oh yeah, every card.
Level up.
I mean, that's if you're listening and Untamed, that's just the way it is. Every card has one catch to make you really want to go to max level.
Yep. Yeah, and stun is just a great ability because it just knocks that receiving card out for the next round.
Yeah.
And
Well,
as far as price goes, it's middle of the range for an epic in Untamed.
yeah. And we've already chatted about Darkhound, so I think we're mostly done. We've covered the Black Splinter in this podcast. Continue watching our future podcast where we'll go over another Splinter.
Yep.
So,
All right.
we want to talk about future of Splinterlands.
So future.
Let's talk about present of Peakmonsters first.
Okay.
Let's talk about what has changed. What have been your favorite changes to the site presently as it is, not necessarily what we're about to do this weekend.
Well, presently,
The
so
pipe.
you added you added filters on the collections page.
On the collection. Yep.
You know, for whether something's on the market or delegated.
Yeah. Perfect.
That is useful. If we look at the packs, we have all that. Sets, you know, is underutilized still, and you know, it's kind of a difficult thing because you don't really have a good. I mean, a lot of people are just putting up random stuff for sets, which is difficult to evaluate.
Yeah,
So you say yes.
They should use the title better. They're just like 4 cards. It's like, why do I want these cards? Epics.
Right.
What are these epics good for? Like, here's a full team, a green team,
Yeah.
4 vampires. Okay, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
Now,
And even these go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, even these 50 bards by JRV2, I don't know who that could be, but
It's not me.
you know, when do I want exactly 50? You know, it's, you know, I might want like enough to make a level, you know, 7 or something, but that's not going to be exactly 50. So it's underutilized and under marketed, I think.
Yeah, what I would love to see is that
yeah, I mean,
it notifies people each time a new set is added, because I feel like there's a lot more sets happening than you actually realize. Every once in a, you know, I look in there and like I look at the purchases and I'm like, wait, when did that set ever come online? Because people checked it and they're like, this is a good deal, and they bought it. I bought
yep.
3 or 4 sets a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if people bought the rest of them or the guy pulled them off. I bought them from, I think, this JRV2. So.
Okay.
I am not JRV2. I'm wondering like, oh, that's kind of similar to my name.
Oh, you're not? I just assumed that you were.
No, I'm not. I bought cards from them.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, with that said, I mean, Peakmonsters is still, you know, the only place, you know, to buy, sell, and rent, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So let's give people a sneak peek, shall we?
Let's.
I've given Neil a sneak peek. But what we've got coming up is buy packs will be very similar, except that we will also give you calculations on market price. Market price goes down a bit. So if you don't want to be too sad about that, then probably don't look at that.
Yep.
So that's the change there. We're also going to give people, well, Untamed hasn't really purchased any cards. That's the problem. But when you go into your profile, there'll be the ability to see the present value. Okay, well, let me log out. I will show people. Okay, so we're going to go to mine. I did this. So in packs, I bought packs through Peakmonsters, and here in the profile, it'll show you the value of the pack, which if it's one pack, maybe not too exciting. Because we know that the pack could either be worth like we're seeing here 73 cents, or it could be worth $50, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this one when I opened it, it was worth 49 cents. And right now it's worth 51 cents. So this is going to be a lot better if you buy like 5 packs at a time or 10 or 20. Then it's going to be interesting. It's going to average out a little bit better. So
Yeah.
that's a fun little benefit. But probably the most interesting things are in market, where we're giving market cap, and in collection, where you have a second view called bulk view.
That's right.
Neil, you've played around a little bit with bulk view.
I have, and it's awesome. So there are a bunch of new things, but bulk view basically lists all your cards. Now, in the same way, if you looked in your history of credits or bids or something, it loads the initial chunk, and then you can scroll down and
It'll keep loading and loading and loading and loading. Yeah.
others makes the whole thing. So you have your normal, you can select alpha, beta, promo, untamed, whatever, and then gold or legendary, gold or regular, rarity level, all that stuff's still the same. What's been added is you can filter by level of a card.
So you got level right here. I'll zoom in.
And then also you have yes or no on the market, yes or no delegated, yes or no owned, yes or no cooldown. Which pretty much, those 5 things pretty much allows you to target in on any class of card that you want. So what I've been doing is just as a quick example. So I hold my cards in Neil.cards, and I play on Neil McSpadden, my main account.
Yeah.
So my play account earns a rewards card, and I don't want to try to scroll through the big listing of with all the card images and try to find which ones are there. So when I want to transfer them over, I just click owned, yes, and
owned, yes. Okay, I'm doing it live. And rewards.
And then rewards, and that pops up all the ones that I just got, and I transfer them in bulk in one transaction over to my holding account.
Except that you still have 4 cards here that you delegate out. So then you put delegated no.
Right.
Wait, did I do that right? Delegated no? Wait, no, that doesn't work because they're all kind of delegated.
I've already done it. So I don't have any rewards cards there.
So what you'd probably do is then sort by delegated or something like that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Or level 1.
Yeah, level 1 would work.
Type in level 1, and there you go. There's all of the new rewards cards that he just got. He doesn't have to go sorting through on Splinterlands each different card, trying to find the cards that are new into his account, or even on the older version of the other view on my collection, going and finding those. He can literally find them in 2 seconds.
Yep.
And then do a click, boom, boom, boom. A shift click here, and then shift click on the last one. They're all clicked. They're all ready to transfer. We just saved him several minutes of his life.
Absolutely. And then, so one thing I was just playing around with yesterday was, so I have a lot of players using my cards. And I wanted to see, what cards are they not using? So I was looking at my ones that were yes delegated and were not on cooldown. So then,
okay, so we're going to remove this. So yes delegated and not on cooldown.
Yeah.
But owned? Okay. Are we looking at Neil cards or Neil McSpadden?
No, you'd have to look at my holding account, Neil.cards.
There's like 2 or 3 accounts that this site is a little bit slow, and it's you, J69, and maybe maybe it's just the 2 of you. Everything's slow on your these 2 accounts.
Yeah, well, it is going through like 30,000 cards, so it takes a second.
Yeah.
But even so,
it's the amount of actual cards. So.
Yeah.
Plus, it's best. We should have done the example on Neil cards. Gosh, Neil. Okay, there it is. So what are we saying?
So I'm looking for cards that are delegated to players, but are not being used, so they're not on cooldown.
Yeah, I did this too, and I told all my players, I'm like, hey guys, do you need these? Or maybe if you're seeing one that's not being used by another player, tell me if you want it. I'll transfer it to you.
Yeah. So so looking at these cards, it's like, well, I'm overbuilding these teams, and like maybe this particular splinter hasn't come up as a quest recently, and
Yeah.
then the whole splinter would be available. But if it's just like 2 or 3 cards in a splinter, then they're just not using those cards.
And we'll
And
organize it by name, and you'll see which ones are the most commonly coming up.
right,
Dark Enchantress, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 that aren't being used.
yep,
Elwyn Dragon Scale. Oh, because you have a lot of level 1 cards in there too.
yeah. I had to add, now that
So
dragon is a quest, I had to add
let's
in some dragon summoners.
let's make sure it's at least. Oh, you can't do 2 and above, so yeah. So we'll ignore those ones for now. You got a lot of new ones in there that aren't being used. That may just because they're new
Yeah, they're
accounts
just
and they
new.
haven't started using them.
Yep. But so I mean, the point is, it
You could
allows you
go
to
down
be.
and just look at betas. There we go.
So it allows you to be more efficient in if you're having players run your cards, and then the ones that they're not using,
Rexy.
either give them
That's
to someone else or put them on the market or something.
no one's using your Rexy card.
That makes me sad. I like Rexy.
And then why isn't this team has a pretty high ranked Feral Spirit? Why aren't they using that? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't
Feral
know.
Spirit's good.
Yeah, you'd have to look at the white splinter and see if it just hasn't been playing white lately.
Yeah. But you've got all the data. So one thing I'd like to stress about bulk is that it's a place that you come and you do actions. It's not the
Right.
place where you come and like, oh, let's look at my collection and see how it's going. Like, no, this is where you have a purpose and you're
Right.
saving time and you're doing something.
Right. So like yesterday, I delegated cards to 3 new rental accounts where they are playing Untamed Cards. So, using the bulk view, I just, identify, I sort and filter and whatever, get down to the cards that I want, shift click, delegate, done. And that is amazing.
Yeah.
And same thing can be done for selling cards, putting them on the market.
We used to have to, and I mean, it's worse in Splinterlands, but this is the method. It was faster in Peakmonsters to begin with. It got even faster, but the method would be like, if I were going into one of my, I could do it live for the peoples. So we're going to go log out here and go into this Jarvie guest account. Actually, where do they send them? They're sending my reward cards somewhere different. I've got so many different like random ones. We're going to go to photo games. I think there's cards in here. So this is the old version, right? I've got 7 cards, 7 monsters up in the screen, and I would have to like go open, 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 click, 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 maybe shift click, click, click. This is really great. Okay, then now shift click. And now all 13 of those cards are ready to be transferred, right?
Right.
Screw that. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to go to that same one, photo games, log in. I'm going to go to bulk view, and I'm going to see them all at the beginning, shift click, and I'm done.
Exactly.
There you go. And if there's other cards in there, I could filter them out and get to just these level 1 reward cards, with one other click or something like that. And then I'm done,
Right.
Boom.
So that's going to be super useful for anybody who's clicking on more than one thing, basically.
Yeah. This is for power users. We're not going to lie. We knew this. This isn't for every user. So what is fun for every user is probably when you go over in the upcoming version and you click on market and you see some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it, Neil. What do you think about this new stuff?
All right. So I have been tracking, the market prices of things for quite a while now. And now, up at the top, you can see total value, parentheses, filterable. And then it shows you using best listed price, which is the ask price, best using bid prices, or using the market prices. Now, for me personally, I always go on the market price. There's some debates, back and forth on which price is best. But personally, I use market. So the filterable. When you're
talking a market cap, total value, you really kind of have to go with market price.
Exactly. So if I click on Untamed, now the filterable value is just showing the values of the cards on the screen, which is Untamed.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, that is showing $295,524. So
$298, but I think you're.
Oh, I might need to refresh here.
Because probably chain golems, which is another thing we need to talk about. Probably that changed some things.
That could be.
Everyone's
right, so 298
hardly up to 299 for me.
Yeah. So now I'm seeing 298,969, which is great.
Okay.
So we are what 230,000 packs in to Untamed, something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's a notional.
People need to wait until this goes onto the main site because that's going to change the market value completely because the bid amounts are totally different on the main site than they are on our testing site. So this isn't a real number. This first number is a real number, but the bid prices and the market prices are not real numbers.
Right. So, but that it allows us to kind of look at the health of the Untamed packs just by itself, and then because we can compare the values to the theoretical cost of the packs that have been sold so far. But more globally, we can look at just all the cards, and right now we're showing 4.5 million in market price, which is going to be pretty close.
Okay, yeah. So if I unclick Untamed, because it defaults to Untamed, so it shows in list value 5.2 million, and in market value 4.5, which obviously that's going to change. So
right, that will change, but it's going to be in the ballpark. We know it's we know the top value is 5.2, and Aggro likes to pop up that chart in the Discord of the market cap of the cards, and they do kind of some weird things. So apparently they take the asking prices as the value and they exclude some random outliers. So they come up with a number, which to me is kind of a kludge way of doing it. So being able to look at the total market and saying, these are the market prices, there's so many cards, therefore this is the market cap, makes a lot more sense.
But we all know that he's going to start reporting this number instead, 5.2.
Well, yeah, probably so.
And then he's going to go over to CoinMarketCap, and he's going to look at the top, and he's going to put it. How do you find that? He's going to find out where.
He just scrolls down, I think, or
view all. Is that what he does?
Maybe.
Oh, come on, view all. Okay, so 5.2 million. Load more.
Loading.
Why does it drop? It just like aired on me. What's the deal with that? Anyways, CoinMarketCap. That's fun. Anyways, he's going to put it in there and say, we're worth this much.
Yep.
And we're worth more than SPD. And that's the thing. They kind of are.
Yeah, that is true.
Because SPD, they haven't printed SPD in a long time.
Yeah.
But, and people have been converting SPD to Steam a lot. So SPD keeps on, there's less and less and less SPD. And and none's being printed, it kind of makes sense. The most SPD should be worth is 7.3 million. It's presently 4.7 according to the site. But even the most it should be worth is 7.3.
Right.
So it's kind of an unfair comparison because, like, literally it should only be worth 7.3.
Right. But it is still kind of an interesting state of affairs.
Yeah. So someone asked a question. We're like, hey, what questions do you want? It's like, when is the value of Splinterlands going to be worth more than Steam? And it was, I think, meant to be a knock on Steam. But I was like, okay, well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if that could happen. So how much does the value of Splinterlands goes up? How much does that go up, Neil?
Like per day or per month or what?
Oh, well, I mean, what was their question? Like, when is that going to happen? Well, I'll give you the other end, right? Like, well, what if it was right now? There's 370 total supply of Steam. What's the difference between circulating and total?
Let's see.
What are
Circulating.
they using for their market cap? Are they using circulating or are they using total?
I believe the circulating subtracts out the. No, that's not right. I was going to say subtract out SPD.
So if we do 42340,532 divided by 0.119872, they're using the 353. Okay.
Okay.
So 353. Now let's do the value. Let's say that the value of Splinterlands goes up by how much percent? If it's 5.2 million, and it goes up how much?
Well, let's look at it from
the whole entire Untamed gets purchased. How about that?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, per pack, we're looking at what was it? 212 with potions, right?
212 with potions. Okay.
Okay. So and we have
a million more.
like a million more. So
or
that's
no, it's 1.2 million more, right?
Let's see. The total's 1.5, and we're 250 in. So 1.25, let's say.
1.25. Okay, $2.12 times 1,250,000.
Yep.
So that's 2.650.
Yep.
So we can say 7.8 million.
Yeah, something like that.
Say end of next year, because that's what they're saying. Well, this time next year, they're saying they want to sell out of Splinterlands in a year's time. And at that point, we're thinking 7.6, but then you've got a bunch of reward cards coming in, and some of those drop. So let's just say 8. Let's be lenient and say, let's be giving and say 8. So the total circulating supply of Steam goes up in a year. Let's say 60,000 times 365. So it's going to go up 21 million.
That sounds about right.
So we're looking at 370 million Steam. So let's do 8 million. So the market cap, we're saying that the market cap of Steam has to go below Splinterlands, right? This theoretical proposition that they're challenging us to make. So 8 million divided by 375. 3, 1, 2, 3. So that means if the price of Steam in 1 year from now goes from 12 cents to 2.1 cents, that's when Splinterlands will be worth more.
Okay.
So there's the answer to their question that was meant to just be a knock on Steam.
But, that's not out of the realm of possibility also. But, you also have to consider that, alphas and betas will continue to appreciate, which will add on to the market cap.
Yeah.
I threw one thing at at the Discord the other day is that, I took the tokens that are outstanding, the orbs, the alphas, the betas,
Yeah.
and the untames, and the dark energy crystals, and that came out to about $700,000
Okay.
of market cap.
Yeah.
So that's a little extra oomph on the back end there.
Yeah. Steam also has some extra oomph on their end too. It's called communities, which if you follow my posts, then you know how big of a proponent of communities I have. Like every post I've been doing is about communities almost, and how big of a deal it is. And I'm not one of those people that, for personally, I'd love to see the price of Steam to go up. For Steam Peak, it doesn't necessarily matter if the price of Steam goes up. It's not a big deal. We're not building our business proposition on Steam, the currency. We're building it on Steam, the platform.
Right.
And in fact, if it's lower, that just means we have more ability to create more accounts easier.
That's right.
And we get more per every post that we do. And that gives us more RCs, and RCs gives us more accounts, and RCs gives us the ability when reward pools comes out to be able to help our customers. I want to see it go up. So don't quote me as Jarvie doesn't want to see the price of Steam go up. But why would why would a platform like Steam Peak care if the price goes up? Unless we were tying our boat, anchoring our boat to the good old ship Steam price,
Right.
We aren't, though. We're not fixing our boat to the price of Steam.
Right.
So, but here's the thing. We're it's almost like an app would almost be worried about how much the price of Steam goes up. It's like, dang it, we have to buy so much more just to get these RCs to help our customers, especially with reward pools, right?
Yep.
So the price of Steam can go up. That's not a problem. I think starting now it's going to go up more healthfully. Is that a word? Healthy. The way it goes up in the future could be more healthy instead of speculation. Speculation is what took it to $4, not utility.
Well, no, I mean, that was entirely just hype in the crypto market. But I think that is just the way it's going to, it's part of crypto. So that's just part of the ride.
So when it goes up, I'm like, oh crap, all these people coming in just to get a quick buck, and we have to deal with them now. And I'm, a little bit dreading that, if it starts to skyrocket. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be the place for scammers and quick buck people. I want to be the place to work hard and create amazing content and create a system that has longevity and is not tied to the price. Because I'm like, if it goes up, I'm like, well, no, it's just going to go back down. And then are they all going to jump ship again? So I love it being more tied to to utility, and so I'm happy about that. I'm sorry that it went down when everyone bought at $2, and now they're super upset, and people aren't coming here for the rewards pool itself. It's like that's too bad, but it's what it is, I suppose. But now it's going to go up based on utility, and it may go down to 2, and I'll keep buying because I know that what Steam, the technologies will bring to the game. So.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hold on 1 second. I gotta deal with the kiddos again. I'll be back in just a second.
No problem. And for those still listening, we are getting close to the end. I could kind of go through maybe a little bit more to give you some ideas of what's going on. So we can look at the market and go, well, what's the market cap of just the alpha cards? Oh, 1.4 if you're using list values. Okay, what about betas? It's 2.28. Oh, that's pretty cool. Promos at 0.5 and reward cards at 0.5, almost 0.6. And Untamed, even just to start off with, after 1 week, and not everyone even opening all their cards, we're at 0.38 if we're using those prices, which is really the only thing we can use. in this testing site at the moment. We've also added up here, since we're doing, talking about all the things Peakmonsters does, we're going to give you the amount that's in your Splinterland, in your Steam Monsters wallet, the amount of DEC that's in that wallet. Because previously, the only way you could see what was in the wallet is by going to Splinterlands itself. You can't see that number because you don't own that. It's in their wallet, right? So if I went to Steam Keychain and saw what was in Jarvie, I'm like, wait, I have 1 million DEC, but that's in my own wallet. This is the amount that's in Steam Monsters. So that's kind of another fun thing. Also, I'm going to buy live a couple of packs to show you that fun pricing thing, and because everyone loves watching things being opened, right? So I'm going to use potions. Maybe I'll do more. No, I can't do more. I only have 5,000 in there, right? So I can only buy 2 packs. The expectation is that I am going to get 7, 2, and then that final card, who knows what it's going to be. But I'm probably going to get 7 commons and 2 rares, and then 1 other card. So we'll see what it happens. I'm going to buy with DEC. And here's the thing, because since we've been recording, Sergio Asgarth has mentioned that he fixed something so that we're now tracking card packs purchased with DEC. So anyways, it sounds like you're back.
I am back, but I'm eager to see what you get.
Okay, yeah. So let's open the packs on Splinterlands, because it's got the cool animations. And it just, now here's the interesting thing. We're gonna log out of this one and log into Jarvie. Is that these packs that you buy are fungible tokens. So I don't know which packs I purchased just now. You're thinking, oh, well, so if I go to open, there's 5 packs in there. You're like, wait, but you have to open 3 more packs before you even get to the 2 that you just bought. Nope, that's not true. These are fungible tokens, meaning every pack is the same. Every one of these tokens is the same. So the next 2 are the same as the last 2. There is no such thing as a specific. I did not buy specific packs. I bought two pennies, and those pennies are the same, whatever.
Right. Because the cards are actually generated when you open them.
Yeah. So we're going to open quantity 2. How about that? Do you feel like a lot of people open in the bulk way now? I obviously do.
I hope so, because it's really slow otherwise.
Yeah. My sister opened all of hers one by one, but I was like, hey, you know what? That's cool, because then you get to experience them for the first time. Meaning you get to know what they're doing. She didn't know any of the cards. So she's like, oh, interesting. Okay. I'm learning about this one as I open it. So the one other card I got was an epic, and I got way more rares than I should have. I've got 2 more rares than I should have, and a Darkest Mage. Okay. So we know that most of the epics are worth at least $1. So that's cool. And all the rares are above 13 cents. So let's see. What do you think this is going to be worth? I've got 13, 14, 14.
Isn't there a way to look at that?
Also, by the way, the pack value, he could only do market price values. So.
Okay.
I'm just doing a guessing game because I'm doing a delay tactic because our system refreshes every 5 minutes. So. So don't do this and then
comes out
over and look at your pack value. So 20, 30 cents. Albatross is another good one. 15 and say 10, 10. 40, and then that's at least $1. I'm saying $2.20 or so. That's my guess.
Okay.
I guess I could go check to see if it's already on. The value of the DEC went down. So we go to my profile. 3 minutes ago. We may have to wait 2 more, but we click on value. Oh, it's already there. So one pack was 145, the other one was 59. So now I go to Asgarth and I say, hey, we should subtotal those packs. Yes, it did work. So what did I say? 220? It
Yep.
turns out that it is 204.
Close enough. So, yeah.
I should buy
Plus, you've also
to give people a better experience, because once you get the legendary in there, then it's a lot better, and then once you get the golds in there, it's a lot better. So
yeah. But you've also gained 2 tickets to the airdrops from
tickets to the airdrop. Yep.
The next 12 airdrops. And we actually got our first quasi airdrop today, and that was the golem.
Let's end with the golem. I don't think we could talk a little bit about Splinterland's future. I talked about it with the concept of live drafting, where it's more strategy based. Someone a little while back was talking about like, oh, it'd be cool if there was an esports version and all that. I'm like, well, yeah, if we had a live drafting sort of game, we could have an esports. Right now it's too much luck, too much like blind, like, let me just throw some cards in there. I don't know.
Sometimes works.
But before we get to that, we've got mobile, we've got play anytime tournaments. Both are huge things.
Right.
And as of today, we've got a new Untamed card.
Right. So technically, this is a promo card and not an Untamed card, but it's still part of the Untamed set because reasons.
Yeah.
So it's a legendary neutral. It's 8 mana. It has a melee attack. 4 shield, good health, 7 or 8. Pretty slow. It's got 2 speed all the way through, and then it has abilities. It has shield, and then void, and then piercing, and then stun. So what are your thoughts on the Chain Golem?
Okay, so yeah, this came out just right before we started recording, and I haven't been able to play with it, but I'm looking at it at level 2, right? That's what I'm going to play with it. Shield and void. It's just basically a tank because it doesn't get the piercing and like those really aggressive abilities until later on. So I've got a 3 attack shield void for 8 mana. I don't with the 4. I'll play it. And I think it'll do all right.
Yeah, basically the way I see it is that it's roughly comparable to a Lord Arianthus because it's 2 more mana, it's 8 instead of 6, but it has an attack, and Lord Arianthus does not.
The Elven Defender is what I would compare it to in Untamed. It's got an 8. It's got the same attack. It's got but it's a common, so it's going to be 5. So it's going to have 8 and a shield. It's got the 8/4. See what I'm saying? Like it's better than the Defender, which is a common neutral.
Right.
That's for sure. What's the other one that it's kind of the Bone Golem? Yeah, I think I'd use it over the Bone Golem. There's a white card that's similar to. I think it's probably better too then. So yeah, it's still a really solid card.
So the lowest at $8.99, whatever, and I think that'll probably be a decent range. The $7-8 range there somewhere.
Let's see the bids. There's already quite a few. Like bids have been such a big part of Untamed already. Like I'm surprised at how many people are doing compared to beta. Rewards has always been pretty big for bids. I feel like rarity bids are a little bit bigger on rewards because people are just like, I want to get these cards so I can burn them and get DEC. So
Right. Yeah, and so the Chain Golem is not going to be part of the Untamed pack. It's just for the Kickstarter. And so far, 2198 have been opened of the regular. And let's see, if we add in the golds, what do we get?
oh, that's what I wanted to see. How many golds? 323, 261 cards.
Yeah, so 323 and 2198 makes what, 2500?
Did they all get sent out as level 1s?
Yes.
Whoa. I didn't even expect that. I thought they'd be sent out combined.
Nope, they came out as level 1s.
All right.
So 25, 21 have been opened or redeemed, or however you want to look at it. So it'll be interesting to see how many end up as the total population.
Yeah, because not everyone's gone through their email.
Right. It's only been 2 hours, so that number will go up, and then we'll see how that compares to the demand, because supply is going to be fixed.
Sweet. Okay. Future of Splinterlands. Future of. By the way, we're not done on the Peakmonster stuff. I could kind of like give you a teaser of what we're looking at doing to finish up this weekend, and then we're moving to some Steam Peak stuff for communities. But one thing is, I want to show rental prices when listing a card for rent. So you go in and select a card, you want to rent it out. We're going to give some data to the owners to show them maybe a ballpark of what they're looking at. So that's a big thing. And then we want to go into when you're in your collection and you're going to combine a bunch of cards. And then you can well, this isn't a good thing here because there's only 2 cards here. But up here, it'll have like a drop down or something to that effect where it's like, I want you to combine this to a level 5. Boom. And then it automatically selects however many cards you need to do that. And then you hit confirm.
That'll be fantastic for especially all these new Untamed cards that are out there. And, a level 5 is 60 cards. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty good about eyeballing like where I should click with the shift click.
That's actually really fun. I'm really good at that too.
It's like, oh, I got 59. But still, it's still a lengthy process. I mean, it's light years faster than using the Splinterland site, but still, it's a lot of work.
Here,
so having just a drop down.
I'll show you what we're talking about because it's funny. I want to get to 52 to make this guy be a level 6, right? So I'm going to hit combine. And, oh, well, this one's not good because there's so many presently being rented out. That sucks. Okay, how about in my vampires? Nope, I've been doing some testing by putting them on the market. If anyone wants to buy level 1 vampires for $1.99,
well,
yeah. Okay, here we go. The wood nymph, I want to get it to a level or to 52. So I go. This isn't my normal viewing size, so there we go. That's my normal. So I'm like, okay, 52 is probably going to be right around there. I look up, 56. Pretty close. That's the fun game we play.
Yep.
And then you hit combine or confirm.
Yep.
But now that game's probably going to go away because you'll just have the ability to do the other thing.
Yeah, I won't miss the game. That's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. And then changing rental contracts right now, even if it's in contract, for the next contract period. That is something we're going to look at more deeply this weekend and see if it's easy or hard. So.
I vote for easy.
Yeah. Okay. That'll be a big one.
I still have alpha cards that are being rented out for like 2 cents a day or something, just because people have been renting them faster than I can look at the expired contracts.
But with the bulk view, you'll be able to find those expired contracts pretty easily.
Yes.
But hopefully you don't even have to do that, and you can just change the contracts. We hope we can do that for you.
That would be
Here's
great.
the thing. Here's another thing that we're going to do. We're going to change the bulk system a little bit to improve it. So when you click on bulk right now, you could do something like, well, what if I had, how much would it cost to get all 11 of these? It would cost $62.80. So what we want to do is expand this little menu right here and have extra data, like at a level 2, this is what it would cost on the market right now. At a level 3 and then at a level 4, we would give you the total cost and the average cost.
That'd be fun.
Pre-do some of that data. So that would be kind of fun, where you can go into the card and that actually, you're going to go into it more often and go, oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, cool. And then you're going to go to like some of the beta neutrals and go, I can't even get a max card out of this.
Yeah.
There's not enough available on there. Well, I mean, there's not enough available on the common Untames either. If you look at the Elven Defender, there's 350 in the market. That's not really enough. So, well, that's probably maybe enough because of the multi-BCX. Yeah, you get there. $29
All right.
to get that card, which is actually not too bad for a common card. We just saw that the legendary was 46.
Yep. Yeah. So, but there are no more Elven Cutthroats being printed. So that one is
Parasitic Growth. Let's see, 400. Yeah, you can get it for $125. Okay, that's expensive.
Wow. That is expensive. Better to buy packs.
Yep. There are reasons to buy lots of packs and reasons to go into the market. To a little bit of both.
Yep. Yeah, in my combining for some silver Untamed decks, I had to buy, I don't know, 6 or 8 cards, just in, the random distribution. I was short on a few. Yeah.
Combining, I should say, also is up to 400 combine at a time. New update will allow you to do 400 transfer at a time.
That's fun.
And 150 change price at a time. Not that you care probably about that one.
Yeah, for me personally, doesn't factor in anything. But
which is kind of an interesting thing. If we could do maybe a couple minutes on the subject of Gods Unchained, because I did a lot of research to see if we wanted to do market there. I bought quite a few cards, not like I have in Splinterlands, of course. But what I've been looking at is their markets, and it's been interesting. I'm like, dang it, why didn't they do it on Steam?
Yep.
We could have had an awesome market for people. Ethereum is just so much. It's I don't know. It's too much. And then the cost of, you have to bulk buy commons because the cost of each common is each transfer is like 4 or 5 cents. Even to list the card is a couple cents.
Can you list in bulk in one transaction or no?
Yeah, and that you can do. I was like, oh, okay, cool. 30 is their limit right now.
Wow.
Of the markets, and it's all disjointed markets. So it's not like Peakmonsters and Splinterlands and a few other markets. We all work together in the same kind of protocol.
Right.
No, they're all doing their own things. Every market's a little bit different.
Yep.
And there's one of them that does this bulk listing, and it's like 30.
Yeah.
I actually really like the game. I think it's fun to play. They have more of this less luck, more strategy, more like turn-based sort of thing that employs more strategy. But it's like, you know what? We can do that. We can do that, early next year, maybe even.
Yep.
And there you go. Then we have that. And we have a solid foundation of a system where you can do things on the blockchain instead of trying everything you can do to get off the blockchain. That's what they're doing. We don't want to play the game on the blockchain. We don't want to do this on the blockchain because it's just so expensive and it takes 30 minutes unless you want to pay more.
Right. Well, I wish Gods Unchained had built on Steam.
Yeah.
text inside blocks so you don't have to kludge something together on top of it. But they're lost.
They're killing it, though. I mean, they went to the place. It's not really their loss. They went to the place that had the money.
Yeah,
Ethereum
that
has
is
the
true.
money. Ethereum has the people with big bags and easy access on Coinbase, and they got a lot of funding money. They have a lot of employees. They have a pretty solid team from what I can see. They're doing well. They're not crying about not being on Steam. It's just their users are.
Just them.
Anyone that wants to buy in the market, anyone that, I don't know. But the company made a good decision, really. Like, I'm not hating on them.
Yeah. Well, I'm in favor of anything that raises the profile of blockchain gaming. So, more power to them.
They're using, let me say, because I don't think we're going to get many Gods Unchained people watching this video, but we're going to get a lot of Splinterlands people watching it, of course, especially this far into the video. That's a long video.
Yeah.
I want to say is thank you for being a great community. We have some stick in the muds every once in a while, and we have some drama from time to time. Sorry, just responding to
but
you go over to their Discord, it's hopping. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of excited people. They've got a little bit of a mob mentality sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
They will pile on someone, and you're just like, I want out of this place. That's only a few people, though. I feel like the others are like, I can't say anything because they'll pile on me. You know what I mean?
Could be.
So there's one of our people in there, and he just mentioned Splinterlands, and it was like pitchforks out. And so I don't think I'm gonna get slack or people mad at me for saying good things about Gods Unchained in a podcast primarily about Splinterlands. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, but you talk about it over there, you just mention it, and they just like. They want to burn you. They kicked out one of our guys because he was having a argument back and forth. They're just like, no, you're out.
Huh.
But it's like we can learn from them too. They they did some pretty awesome things in their game. So
great.
But there we go. Steam is a great blockchain. Doing something on Ethereum makes me shivers, and we've thought about putting a market on Peakmonsters. Not that we have the time to do it, but it's just like I would prefer to do it on Steam. A market for the Gods Unchained cards on Steam using US dollar as the value, because they don't have, there's a lot of markets that are on Ethereum using Ethereum as the amounts. It's like, let's do something different. Let's make it USD and use Steam. And let's do a bid market, because there's not a bid market for them either. There's a lot of things that they're kind of missing that I suppose that the markets will do, because they brought in a ton of volume. They have done, their market in 1 week has done a lot of volume. So good for them.
Yep.
For all of us.
All right.
And there you go.
Well, my kids are calling for dinner, so I got to run.
I'm calling myself for dinner too. So
okay.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Hope everyone enjoyed it. It was a packed episode. Hope you watched it at like 1.5 speed at least.
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Dale.
We'll catch up next time.
We'll get this online soon.
All right, great.